Hello, Star Citizens, and apparently I am not getting any sleep tonight. Anyway, I had to go back in because look at this. I was looking, I was just going in and getting, CCUs just in case, whatever. Who knows what I'll need in the future. But I scrolled all the way down on this 3.24 page, got past all of this nice stuff, and there's a sale down here. Why would you hide the sale? There's even a little Nomad Jackal starter pack. You get the queerness. I think that's the queerness armor. What is that? Let's see what that is. Yes, the queerness armor. Yeah. And then there's 2 Warbond CCUs. This one's nothing to yell at. It's a $10 freelancer max CCU, but this one, $50. Now the whole C is not necessarily, may not be the ship you want, but yeah. Anyway, so ship sale. So let's do what we always do and go over each one of these ships, and do our quick buyer's guide. These buyer's guide are never quick, but I'm gonna really try. I'm gonna put in the effort. As always, make sure you like or dislike, leave a comment, and subscribe, and you will be entered to win our Aegis Saber Peregrine that we're giving away in, it's like a day and a half now. I don't know. It's like 2 or 3 days, something like that. We're giving that away. Obviously, if you are a member, then you already have a chance to win and you don't have to do any of that. But otherwise, make sure you do that. And yeah, go to the website for all the details on the giveaways. So let's start with this C2. C2 is for vehicles and it's for transporting vehicles, and it's for transporting other ships. So if you want to transport other ships, you want to transport other vehicles, that's really what the C2 is for. It's not really for transporting cargo, but you can do that. Just take an MPUV cargo or MPUV tractor with you. And I say do that because the Hercules does not have any beams. It doesn't have any tractor beams. And because it doesn't have any tractor beams, you're going to want to take a ship that can do that with you. Or, of course, you can use the rifle tractor beam as well, with a bunch of people doing that. So I don't know what it can carry in 3.24, but yeah. So tons of cargo though. It can carry 696 SCU worth of cargo, but it's really made for vehicles and for transporting vehicles and transporting ships. It can transport anything that's a vehicle, and it can transport any like snub ship. I'm pretty sure it can fit all of the snub ships in there. So there you have it. That's what the C2 is really for. Like I said, you can use it for cargo. I wouldn't suggest it because it doesn't have the tractor beam, especially now that 3.24 is live. The Caterpillar, it's a great ship. It's one of those ships where it's going to have modularity. It's going to be, it carries a lot of cargo just like the C2, except this one has tractor beams. So this is the ship I would say, if you're really going to do cargo, to go with this one, especially now that 3.24 is live, because 3.24 is making it to where you got to really load up your stuff and choose the right thing. However, I will say one thing about the Caterpillar is it can't fit 32 SCU boxes, which is very weird. I feel like just move everything just an inch so it can fit the 32 SCU box. It seems very weird that a dedicated cargo hauler can't fit the largest cargo box, but it can. It fits in there, but it's just like an inch. It's like a few inches too small. So I feel like the Caterpillar will get not a rework, but I think it'll get like a gold pass. And maybe, just maybe, they'll widen it a little bit, but who knows? They might not. But for now, it's 24 SCU and below. But it opens, all 4 of these bays open, plus the front opens. I've actually seen some really cool stuff where people put snub ships in there and then use it like a little small carrier to like go out and fight people with. So it's got a lot of uses, and modularity's coming for it. So I'm a huge fan of the Caterpillar. The Connie Taurus. The Constellation Taurus is the ship that I tell everybody, hey, look, if you don't want to go and get like a bunch of different ships, just go get yourself a Constellation Tourist. You are going to have a blast because you can go do a bunch of missions where you fight, you know, get into get into a little bit of smoke with some other ships, and you'll do okay because you got high hull HP and you got size 5 weapons. Or, you know, you could just go do some cargo missions, go do something really chill and relaxed and everything. Plus, this thing has a ton of skins, so you can choose, you know, what you want it to look like, what color. It's got like 10 of them, I think. It's got like 9 or 10 of them. And yeah, this thing, it's a bigger ship. It's got like a full kind of habitation area for you. You can live in it a little bit. I think the Constellation Taurus is one of the better ships. I think the entire Connie series, there's no flaws. None of the Constellation series is bad. It's the only series of ships I think that is like win all the way down. So yeah, it needs a rework. So just be aware that if you go into it now, that's not the final product. That's not what it's going to end up looking like. Because it has some older stuff in it. But be aware that I think this is Chris Roberts' favorite ship. It's either his favorite ship, not this specific one, but the Constellation series, I think, is his favorite series of ship. So I'm guessing that this one will be really decked out by the time it's all said and done. The Freelancer Max, it needs some love, but now that we have the Ursa rover and we know that the Ursa rover medevac, the NURSA. Now that we have the NURSA, we know that the Freelancer Max can fit one. That makes the Freelancer Max, that puts the Freelancer Max back into amazing status. So $150. And one of the things that people talk about a lot is the Zeus Mark II CL. And they talk about that. And the thing about the Freelancer Max is it can fit a NURSA. The CL cannot fit a NURSA. And I think that's what's going to catch a lot of people off guard that bought the CL. I didn't know it couldn't fit a NURSA until recently. I was really just looking at a bunch of videos and I found that out. It really makes sense that it won't be able to fit the NURSA. So, I mean, we can keep our fingers crossed that maybe they change something because it's technically not out yet, but it's not looking like it will. So that will be something that the Freelancer Max has over it. Now, another thing about this is the Freelancer Max obviously is an older ship. It's an older looking ship. It needs some love. So just be ready to wait if you do get a Freelancer Max, but I do think it will get its just due in the future. But it's, you know, it's a utilitarian ship, so don't expect it to be too much. The only thing I don't particularly like about it is the mail slot that Misk does with these, and I'm hoping that they get over that. The Hull A. So the Hull A is actually part of the reason. If you look at this, you see how there's windows up here and then there's windows here and windows here, and then come look at this. None of that. It's got this up here. I need these windows here, some windows here, and windows here. Keep your mail slot, but give me more. I want to see more out of the ship. It's literally a reason why I can't get a lot of Misk ships, because I think I have the Odyssey, I have the Misk Odyssey, and I have the Misk. I don't know what my other Misk ship is, but anyway, I think I have 2 Misk ships, and I only have them because they're just going to be the best at what they do. But I would get rid of them if there were alternatives, just because that's how much I dislike this mail slot. This one's good. This one sucks. Anyway, Hull A, it does what the Hull series can do, where your cargo's a little exposed and everything, but it's super cheap and it can land. It doesn't need to like unload at a space station or anything like that. So you're good to go when it comes to using the ship to go down the planet. The same thing with the Hull B. I don't know if they're selling the Hull B. They went straight to the Hull C here. It doesn't look like they're selling the Hull. I wish they were selling the Hull B. I think they're about to release the Hull B. If not the Hull B, then it'll be like some racing variant of the Freelancer or something like that. But yeah, Hull C does, the Hull A and the Hull B can both land on a planet. so you don't have to unload at a space station. The Hull C, when it's fully laden, meaning it has all of the cargo on it, means you have to go to unload at a space station. But the Hull C carries obviously a lot more than the Hull A. I think the Hull A only carries like 64 SCU, where the Hull C carries, I think it's 4,000. I think the Hull C carries like 4,000 or something like that. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Yeah, I think it's like 4,000. It's 4,000 something actually. So it's a ridiculous amount of cargo for the Hull C. But the thing about the Hull C is it's kind of overpriced. When I look at the Hull A, definitely a decent price for that. When I look at the Freelancer Max, decent price. Connie Tourist, decent price. Caterpillar, a little overpriced, but this is a very useful ship for what you pay for. And the same thing with the C2. Vulture, oh, well, I went a little bit too far. But the idea is most of these ships are not overpriced. The Hull C is definitely overpriced. Now, yeah, it can carry a whole lot of cargo, but I'm not paying $500 for a Hull C. If I'm gonna go above the $400 range, then I'm going straight to Hull E or Hull D, one of those two, which carry like, I think the Hull D carries like 28,000, and then the Hull E carries like 96,000 SCU, which obviously is the most in the game. But I just don't think I'm paying that much for this ship. Now, of course, you can play the CCU game or the upgrade game. Now you can play the upgrade game and keep upgrading and saving money. There's some good CCUs to it right now. You can get it for $450, but that is war bond. So again, that means you have to spend real money. So just make sure that you're ready for that. But if you used all of the war bonds today, I think you would get it for like, I think there's a $50 one. There's, what are these? Yeah, this one was 10 and this is $50. So yeah, you would get it for 440. Oh, nope, because you could also use the war bond upgrade for the Aegis Saber Peregrine that just released. So because you can do that, I think you can also save another $10. No, it was $15. So you can get this for $415, which is still kind of expensive for it, but that's like right on the cusp of being okay. I would get the CCUs to it, and then I would wait for further upgrades that you can use to get to the Hull C. I just think you can save like $200 or $300 on this ship, and then it's worth it. Moving to the M2. The M2 is the C2 except with one extra gun on the bottom and more armor. So the gun on the bottom is a turret. It's a turret. It's a man turret. It's a man turret or remote? I think it's a man turret. And basically, it's better for the ground assault when it carries less cargo. I think it carries like 522 versus the 696 of the C2. And the M2 is one of those ships where it's losing its value a little bit because the ironclad assault does what it does better, it seems like. But the ironclad assault's not in game yet. So if I was picking a ship around this price range, I would probably get the ironclad assault. I would wait till IAE when that comes back on sale and do that. I'm surprised they didn't take this opportunity to sell it again. I would have sold it again. I mean, why not, you know? But I think they wanted to maybe just sell ships that were in game already. So, you know, that's probably what they were doing. But yeah, the M2, it's a good buy because it will fly better than the ironclad. It's just more aerodynamic. It's got the it's made by a company who puts a little bit more high-tech parts into their ships, so it'll fly better than the ironclad. Drake is more bare bones, so yeah, it'll fly better. If you need to carry 500 SCU and you need the ship to fly well, and you need to do, you know, some ground assault, then you get the M2 for that. I just don't know if that bottom turret is worth it. I wish it was a quad turret, or I feel like they could easily change that to a quad turret, and then it would be immediately worth it because of the damage you can do with that quad turret, because that would essentially be like putting 2 turrets underneath this thing. Because that's the thing, I think it can fit at least 1 more turret, but you have to go up to the A2, which is $230 more to get all of the turrets that this thing can fit. And I would rather them just put a quad turret on this than making people pay that $230. I have an A2, so I'm a fan of the A2. Not hating on the A2, just saying that I think the M2 is just slightly undergunned for the price. And I think it's going to be kind of stepped on by the Ironclad. Well, the M2 is going to be stepped on by the Ironclad. Moving on to our little friend here, the MPUV tractor. Now, I think this went up in price. I think it was $35. It looks like it's $40 now. Or maybe that was the war bond price. It was $35. But yeah, for $40, you get the tractor beam. It can carry, I think that's a 16 SCU thing underneath it, so it can carry both. So it can carry whatever you grab with that tractor beam. The tractor beam, I think, can carry all the way up to 32 SCU. So if you got a 16 SCU here and a 32 SCU down here, I think that's great. Now, I don't know if this can carry a 32 SCU. I actually haven't got in and actually played around with it, but if it can, I don't think it can, but if it can, that would be great too, because then you essentially are carrying 2 32 SCU containers to wherever you're trying to go, which would be a total of like 64 SCU. Now, obviously, you're not going to use this as a cargo ship. This is a loading ship. Now, this is the ship that you load other ships with. Specifically, the M2, which doesn't have tractor beams, but has 500 SCU of cargo. The Hull C, which obviously all these up here. Even the Hull A, you could probably just load itself. But yeah, those massive cargo ships, that's why you get an MPUV tractor. It's mostly an earning game. I bought one outside of game, but I don't know if I'll keep it. I think I bought it because I was like, well, I just want one and I don't want to have to worry about the insurance with it. But now that I'm seeing that these I'm seeing what the 3.24 prices are on insurance, and I'm thinking that I might just end up upgrading some of these. My NERSA, I think I'll even end up upgrading my NERSA, because even though I love that thing, I'm still just like, I feel like I would have much better time with a raft. I'm like, there's other ships that I can get. And the insurance on those it's just so cheap. It's so cheap. And now that 3.24 is live, I'm like, I can do without them. The only vehicle I think, there's 2 vehicles that I think I'm going to keep. I think I'm going to keep the Rock, and I think I'm going to keep the Nova, but I might not even keep the Rock, because I feel like those vehicles are just going to be super easy to get. And the Nova is the only one that I'm worried about being behind a wall. And I already knew that this stuff was going to be easy to get. It's just more like, I feel like at this level I can buy vehicles, but then I'm still feeling the pull towards ships. And at the same time, I do think those vehicles are worth buying. I think out of all the vehicles, there's only 3. There's the NERSA, the Rock, and the Nova tank. The Nova tank is the biggest one, because I do think that'll be behind a rep wall or something, and maybe that's good for people. Maybe people are okay with that. I would prefer to have mine day one. And then the NERSA, same. I don't think that's going to be behind any rep wall or anything. You could buy that day one. I just want mine right now, and I think that's what I want. I want it like day one, every time I start the game. But looking at the insurance rates and looking how much they cost, and that's my biggest thing, not wanting to like have to, let me go do a bunch of missions before I go grab this ship. Most of the time what I want to do involves me putting the NERSA in a ship and then going off. So that's why I'll probably end up keeping the NERSA, but I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about getting rid of it. But I definitely think I'll be upgrading my MPUV tractor, because I just don't think I'm going to need it as much as I thought. So yeah, anyway, the MPUV tractor is good. I don't know if I would buy it with real money. I think I would just earn it in game, and that's kind of the thing I was trying to say there. The Mule, it could be better. I wish it carried 3 or 4 SCU. I don't think 2.5 SCU is good enough for $45, and the entire point of this ship being to carry things. I wish it could stack 2 SCU up. I wish there's just a lot of things I wish this thing could do, but I do like the fact that you can put the 1/8 SCU containers on the sides. You can do that on both sides, and then I think you can load 2 SCU underneath. So I do like that. Or no, it's 1 SCU underneath or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe it's 2. I think it's 2 SCU in the back and then 1 on either side. So technically you can carry 3.5. But 1 has to be inside of this. I just wish the whole thing, I mean, it's a mule, right? Why can't I stack some SCU on top of this thing? 1, 2, 3. You can fit 3 SCU up there. I just feel like this thing should be like it's a mule. Again, that's what you do with the mule. You pack as much stuff on it as you can, and I don't think that they quite did that. So I would love to see a variant, a mule DS where they, maybe it's got a second seat or something. I don't know. But just put some cargo containers up there. The Argo raft. I have been singing the praises of this ship. I do believe I'm gonna add this to my fleet because it not only is it a nice little home. Like, I just really love Argo ships, and I've been trying to find my way into an Argo ship recently. And I have the MPUV tractor, and that's what I think is going to turn into my raft, because it does serve that purpose of, I can load up things with it. And now that I know that you don't have to have a full 32 SCU cargo container to put underneath these, I do think I'm going to stop off and get a raft. And on top of that, it has a ton of skins, and I love skins. And this is one of those ships where I just love the way it looks. And I have 28 ships at this point. And so I feel like I'm at that point now where if I'm getting ships, it's not for as much utility, but the raft has the utility and it has the look. So that's a reason that I'm wanting to get it. It carries 96 SCU total. I don't have a ship that carries that amount. I have a ship that carries way more or way less. I don't have anything that's really in that category. I have I think I have a Corsair, which is like 74, but when I go out in a Corsair, I'm not carrying cargo in that thing because it doesn't have a tractor beam. I'm taking a Nursa with me, a vehicle. I'm taking a vehicle with me, or I'm taking a snub ship with me if I'm taking the Corsair. And that's because I think that's more geared to what that ship is supposed to do. It's more of an attack vessel or something like that. Whereas the raft is dedicated to cargo. And I like to get ships for what they're good for. The Reclaimer. Now, the Reclaimer is one of the best ships in the game, if you ask me. But I say that because of 2 things. Its ability to make money in the game. Like, as soon as you get in it, you can go out and make money and make a lot of it. That's the first part. And the second part is the interior of this ship. Now, it's a gigantic interior, and it's a capital ship. It's a capital class ship. So it's got so much going on in it, but it's also like the look of it, like the way these arms turn down and get you off the ground. It's very difficult to fly for me using sticks, but I'm just learning how to use my sticks, so that's just me. Don't worry about that. But it's still one of those ships where once you get the hang of it, it's really awesome. I hope that at some point they bring the claw back and actually make it chomp things rather than it being a giant straw. But yeah, Reclaimer's an amazing ship. I have no notes on it. It's great. The Saber Peregrine. So I haven't done a review on this ship yet because obviously it just came out today. But the interesting thing is I kind of already know what I'm going to give it because I went through and I looked at it. So is it a buy? If you're a racer, and you don't have if you don't have a small or medium racer already, because I would go, if I'm getting a snub racer, I'm going to go with the P72, or I'm going to go with the Fury LX, because the Fury LX is a little faster and can maneuver a little better. But the P72 is the fastest. It's the fastest ship. It's the Archimedes. It's the fastest ship in the entire game. So those are my snub ships. If I'm going small, I'm probably going to get the Razor, because the Razor is going to be fast. It's going to be almost as fast. I think it's second, or it's either the second or third fastest ship in the game. And then if I'm going one step above that, like in size, then I get the Saber. And so this is just another, we don't have a dedicated racer at that level. So I think this is trying to fill that void. I do think it could have come with some stealth. I do think it could have come with some size 1 weapons, and I do think it could have came with a scanner if it wasn't going to get those size 1 weapons, so that it serves a secondary purpose. But you know me, I know that things are dedicated, but I still want them to have at least 2 purposes, and I just don't see a second purpose for this one. So I kind of already know what I'm going to give it. I think this is specifically for racers. I just don't like the idea of Aegis making racers without a secondary purpose. It just doesn't make sense to me as much. But I get if you go and look at the Q&A, they kind of explained it away, but it was like 1 or 2 sentences, and I don't think they did a great job. So I would have loved to see this be like a stealth recon ship, and that would be a great explanation of why it didn't have weapons. If it had that stealth and it had, you know, a scanner or something, because it's already going to glow a little bit more because it's a racing ship. But, you know, I just think that they could have done a little better on that one. But, oh, yeah, one more note. I am giving away the Saber Peregrine. Now, even if you're not into racing, it's obviously a $185 ship. So, of course, you would be getting that from me for free. And you could just upgrade that to something if you weren't particularly into racing. So you could just treat it as a $185 towards whatever more expensive ship you want. And then the last ship on the list, the Drake Vulture. The Drake Vulture is another one of the best ships in the game. The Drake Vulture, instant money maker. You can immediately hop in it, go out. Very simple. Everything works from the seat that you're sitting in, so you're just good to go as soon as you go out in this thing. You can make money and get pretty much anything done in the game that you want, because you'll just have so much money to burn. But it's not a great fighter, it's not a great flyer, so don't try to use it for that. It doesn't really have a dual purpose outside of just some very minor living circumstances. It's a very single person ship. And yeah, I like it. I think it's really cool. I have a reclaimer, so I don't particularly need a Vulture, but I have a Vulture anyway, so that should tell you how much I like that ship. So as I said, the upgrades are a $10 Freelancer Max War Bond that you can go pick up. They're not CCUs anymore. They're upgrades, trying to use the new technology, or the new wording, not technology. I'm tired. It's very late. The Mist Hull C, it has a $50 upgrade, and then the Nomad, or no, not Nomad, the Saber Peregrine has a $15 upgrade. So if you're using the CCU terminology, the CCUs are, there's 3 of them to go and get. Especially this one's 450 to 500. I can't remember what this one is. I think it's 140 to 150, and then this one's 170 to 185, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, the surprise little ship sale. Is it a surprise? I don't remember if they did a ship sale for 3.23, but maybe they did. So I don't know. I'm glad that they finally announced the Saber Peregrine though, because I've been trying to say what I'm giving away this month for like the entire month, and I couldn't say it because I didn't want to like run afoul of things. So it's the message is out there now, and I'm happy. All right, that's it for this one. I will see you in the next one. Shout out to the members. Peace.